You didn't find this by accident. This message must be meant for you or someone you know. He entered ICE custody alive and left dead, not missing, not transferred, dead, inside a system responsible for keeping him alive. Some say the law is the law. Others say no. But here's the part nobody agrees on. What happens to a person when they lose control of their life and no one steps in before it's too late? Because this didn't happen in a second, it built quietly. And if that's true, then someone missed something. And a human life slips through the cracks? Because what the Torah, the Gospel, and the Quran say about this? A Cuban immigrant was being held in ICE custody in Georgia. At some point, he was found unresponsive. Authorities say it appears to be a suicide. Let that sit for a second. Because this isn't just about immigration. It's about mental health, isolation, responsibility. When someone is detained, they lose freedom, but they don't lose their humanity. And now people are asking, what happened inside that facility? What did he experience? Could something have been done? And here's the tension. Some people focus on law and enforcement. Others focus on care and compassion. But once someone is in custody, doesn't the responsibility shift? And this is where faith steps in. Here's what's interesting. The Torah is very clear about how to treat people who are vulnerable, especially those who are not from your own land. It says, "You shall not wrong or oppress a stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt." Exodus 22:21. That's not abstract. That's lived memory. You know what it feels like. So don't do it to someone else. And then this, "You shall love him as yourself, for you were strangers." Leviticus 19:34. Not tolerate, not ignore, love. But here's what people are missing. Judaism doesn't allow you to separate law from compassion. It forces you to hold both. Jesus speaks directly about people in custody. He says, "I was in prison and you came to visit me." Matthew 25-36. Notice something that's not a metaphor. That's direct. He identifies with the imprisoned. That means how you treat the most overlooked reflects something deeper. But here's what people are missing. Christianity doesn't ask if someone deserves compassion. It assumes it. Now listen to this. The Quran emphasizes dignity, even for those in difficult situations. It says, "And we have certainly honored the children of Adam," not some people, all people. And then this, "And they give food, despite their love for it, to the needy, the orphan, and the captive." The captive, that's specific. That means even those held are to be cared for. But here's what stands out. Islam doesn't remove dignity because of circumstance. So what do all three, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, say together? When someone is vulnerable, you protect them. When someone is in your care, you don't neglect them. And when someone is at their lowest, you don't let them disappear. But here's what most people don't understand. We've separated systems from humanity. That's not my role. This is where it gets undeniable. Because once someone is under your control, their well-being becomes your responsibility. Not optional, not partial, full. And here's the hard truth. It's easy to debate policy. It's harder to face the human cost when something goes wrong. And maybe the real question isn't just what happened, but what are we allowing to happen? So now this turns to you, not the facility, not the system. You. Because moments like this force a question most people avoid. How do you see people who are locked away? As problems? As cases? Or as human beings? This is where it gets really uncomfortable. It pulls you closer. So ask yourself, if someone is in custody, do they still matter? Do they still deserve care? Do they still deserve to be seen? Because at the center of all of this is a life that ended in a place where it should have been protected. And that should make you pause. And people make choices. So what kind of choices would you make if the responsibility was yours? Because in the end, This isn't just about one man. It's about what we believe people are worth when they're at their lowest. So don't just see the situation, see the person. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like,